Hello, families. Thank you so much for being here. Our workshop will begin in just a few short moments. You may have noticed that your microphone, chat, and video features have been disabled for this evening since this is a webinar feature. Those of you calling in, thank you so much. Hopefully you can get the most from this experience, as it is best to do these workshops with a visual, with a computer in front of you. I know many of you are very excited about earning those volunteer or service hours for your attendance here tonight, and we will discuss all of the information for the attendance through the attendance and feedback form that is correlated and linked to your hours, and that will all be provided for you at the end of the workshop. This workshop is being recorded, so this way you can have future access to it. So please sit back, relax, enjoy, maybe follow along on another device if you have one handy, but there's no need for lots of note taking or anything like that, since we are recording as always, and it will be posted to our system's website. When we move on to our next slide, you're going to see here that we are welcoming you to our Jaguar Pointer Workshop, Canvas and Clever Uncovered, a Parent's Guide to Student Success. We are super excited, that you are here this evening. My name is Erica Kotzer, and I am with the Office of Innovative Learning, and my colleagues are here with me tonight. Presenting is Miss Karina Raymont, and stepping in also just kind of here on the side is not Veronica Lesmis, but last minute we had an update to that, and it is Miss Jennifer Roca, who is also part of our team, and we are all here to support in any way. Those of you that are new to our workshops, welcome. We're very excited and eager to have you here with us. We know there is lots of things that you could be doing on a very busy Thursday school night, so I completely understand. Please bear with us, as you do know that we are in a new platform as we have moved and transitioned from Zoom into WebEx. You have received lots of emails with today some updated guides for you to have a better experience getting access to the WebEx webinars upon registration, as well as where to locate those webinars once you have registered. Many a times people are saying, I can't find it, I didn't get the invitation, and that is because you have probably realized, if you are here, that it has gone either into your spam, junk, or any other folder, or it may be living within a different folder or be blocked by your email provider. So please check those settings if you had difficulty with one email registration opposed to another. Those links are in the email that was sent today, and you could read all of that literature that is provided by WebEx themselves. Also, upon registration, you may see moving forward a 404 error. That 404 error is not something on our side. However, that is a platform issue with WebEx. They are aware of it. So moving forward, as we have these fantastic workshops throughout the school year, and you possibly encounter that 404 error when you go to register with that link, please just give it a moment and refresh and retry that link, as it is just unfortunately a down system on the WebEx side, but eventually it does clear itself up and it allows you to access the link to register. Now that we are done with all of sort of that little housekeeping things, we are asking just please for a little patience and understanding as we have moved to the new platform. Also this evening, we do have some ugly skies out, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that nobody loses power, but if we do, we will jump back on and restart the webinar, but hopefully we will not encounter any power issues this evening kicking us off. Also, last before I hand it over to Miss Karina Raymont, you have the ability to use the chat feature, which is within the WebEx platform, similarly to how we had it with Zoom. And you guys can type your questions in. Since there is no chat, you do have a Q&A, excuse me, I think I said chat, but you have the Q&A feature available to you. And as questions come in, we may hold those until we go live for questions and answers, just because we do have telephone people on, people sharing devices, and sometimes it's best to hear right from the presenters themselves. So I don't want to take any more time. We hope to have everybody out of here, just a little bitty secret, maybe even a little bit before the end time was posted. So maybe you could take a breather before you move on to the rest of your family duties. But we are excited, and I'm going to pass it on to my very dear friend and colleague, Miss Karina Raymont, with a fantastic session for you all this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Kotzer, and thank you, Ms. Roca, for being here. And most importantly, thank you to all of you who are with us today because we are here for you, our stakeholders, and we want to give you the best possible experience. And of course, because Canvas and Clever are truly two of our top programs, we want to make sure that you have every tool in your arsenal to help your student be successful, as we are always working to empower students for the possibilities of tomorrow. And you are their guide, so we're here to help you too. So now, when it comes to Canvas and Clever, today's session, our our goal is to empower you to help your students, and Canvas and Clever are going to help you do that. So today you're going to learn about Clever, you're going to learn about Canvas. We're going to teach you how to pair a parent Canvas account if you haven't done that. And we're going to teach you how to navigate Canvas as a parent, because you can have a Canvas account for yourself and be an observer in that account. But let's get started with poll time. Let's see how do you feel and how much you know about these programs. We want to know whether you are a brand new parent starting with the system, or if you have been with Clever for a long time or with Canvas. Where are you and how do you feel about these programs? Ms. Kotzer, if you can launch the poll,
Yep,
that would
the
be
poll the
great.
poll is going. We're super excited. Thank you, everyone. Please send in your votes now.
Can we see the poll? I'm sorry, I can't see it on my end. So,
I can see the poll, so we've got
okay,
about
great.
40 people going. As we said,
Excellent.
everybody, new system, so please bear
Yes.
with us.
So as you see, we're asking you where you are, and it's okay because this information, this feedback that you give us, whether you are a beginner or an intermediate level, you're an expert, we want to hear from you because it helps us provide you a better experience and teach you about what you as a parent can do to support your child with Clever and Canvas, or vice versa. Okay. So we're going to leave the poll open for a little bit more so that you can have an opportunity to answer.
Yep, I figure we can give it about another 30 seconds. How does that
Sure.
sound?
Sounds great. Yes.
Perfect, because we
And
still
while
have a
you are
couple people going.
answering, thank you. And while you are answering this, um, you know, everything in our system is connected. And so for those of you who came to our focus, JPW, which was last week, previous week, you can see how everything that is in our information system, which is Focus, it then comes in and gets fed into Clever and Canvas. So these three are major programs that really do help us keep everything that the students need and the student experience and the parent experience at the highest possible level. So
At
now
this
that we
time, we have
have,
closed it. Oh, we have closed the voting.
and how are
And
we looking?
so I have some knowledge had 2.28%. I am a beginner, 1.04. I am very familiar with these programs, zero point 0.8, and I am an expert, 0.07.
All
So
right, so we are
good job.
exactly where we expected you to be, and this is why you're here. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. We're going to have another poll for you shortly. Now, what is Clever? Now, Clever, imagine before and when we went to school, if we were lucky enough to have computer devices, we had to log in to multiple websites. But with Clever, you don't. Your child goes into one portal, uses a Clever badge or their username and password, depending on their grade level, and boom, they have their programs at a fingertip. And that is saving instructional time so that teachers and students are not wasting time looking for resources, but instead they are using their time learning. So let's hear a little bit about what what Clever is all about. Hello. As a student, teacher, or administrator, you can log into the Clever portal to access your online resources with just a single username and password. There are two ways you can log into Clever using our Clever specific Pines Charter URL at clever.com slash in slash Pines Charter. This will take you to our system's login page. Once the login screen appears, you will be prompted to enter your unique username and password, which is your Pines Charter email. Or, if you have been provided one, you may use a Clever badge by holding your badge up to the camera in your device. Once you've entered your credentials, you'll be taken directly to your personalized portal, and you can just click on any resource and you'll be automatically logged in. Students, if you have any questions about your username and password, please ask your teachers for help. Teachers and administrators, reach out to your tech department and the Office of Innovative Learning if you have any issues with your login. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, it's super easy for your child to get into Clever. And I do want to clarify something very important. That was a number one question. Where's my Parent Clever account? Well, parents, you don't get a parent account. And that is because Clever is specifically for students to access their curriculum, and only students have accounts for that curriculum. So if you want to see the programs that your child has access to, then you can help your child log into their Clever portal. At home, students can log in by going to clever.com/in/Pines Charter. This is important because many schools around the world have Clever. And so this is the unique URL for our system. If you have a child who attends Broward County Public Schools, they have a different URL for Pines Charter than Pines Charter, and theirs is going to be associated to Broward schools. And if you want to, you could always go via the pinecharter.net website, which has the online tools and the option to do this. Now, in our system, students who are in K1 and 2 can log in using their badge, which is provided by their teacher in the school, or if you have their username and password, you could always do it at home if you do not have the badge or the badge doesn't work or if you lose the badge. But keep in mind that you can always access it with the username and password, which for our system is what we call a Google authentication, where students use their pinecharter.net email, which yes, it doesn't say at gmail.com, but it's still a Google authentication because we are a Google for Education school when it comes to logging in. Now, the student experience looks a little bit like this, and I'm going to go live in a second. The students are going to do single sign-on, which is what SSO means. And that's why a lot of times we refer to Clever as it's our SSO. That means it's our single sign-on because your child goes into one portal and they have all kinds of resources. And the portal looks the same no matter what school your child is in terms of our system, which that alignment, whether they start at kindergarten and they go all the way through 12th grade, is going to look the same. And the only thing that's going to change is the identifying school. Now, also, in addition to the programs that come from the rostering system, the teachers have also their own pages and they add access to links or files or other different applications that may be a favorite resource for that particular teacher and they want to share it with their students. And the students are going to have access to their teacher pages and they can also favorite their resources. So let's take a look at what that looks like, shall we? Okay, so when we are experiencing, I want to show you how you're going to log in by going through the pinecharter.net website. So as we said, if you type pinecharter.net, then you can go to the online tools. This is in our main menu or what we call the mega menu. Here, you're going to find a link to log into Focus, Clever, and Canvas. So remember the URL was clever.com/in/Pines Charter. But you can remember, just go to our main website, and here you can see that our portal URL is right here. And you should see that it says City of Pembroke Pines Charter School System. Now, if you type clever.com, you're going to have to type the school. So there are more steps involved in it. But if you go to our pinecharter.net website, click on online tools, then click on the Clever link, bingo, you are redirected to our instance. And your child, depending on the grade level again, will have the option to use the Clever ID and the option to log in with Google. So I'm going to log in and I'm going to select my Dash Incredible account. You know, if you know anything about us, we have the Incredible family in our system. So Dash Incredible at pinecharter.net. I don't have to add it because it's already there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put his password. As you can see, I have a lot of passwords. And we click next. Oh, did I put it wrong? Hope I didn't. Yep, there it is. No thanks. So this is actual an account that belongs to Dash Incredible. And you can see that this is going to be your child's account. Dash is enrolled at Central Middle Campus. On the left-hand side, you're going to see favorite resources, teacher pages, elementary programs, secondary programs, life skills wellness, teacher apps that do not apply to your child, library resources, Google Apps, website links, help resources, and more. So in this case, because Dash is in middle school, if we click on the drop-down menu here, the only option is to log out. Under Portal, you're going to have different options, and the messages is not a feature that is enabled. So even though the icon is there, we do not use the message feature in Clever because our communication programs is mainly focus. And sometimes you'll get some information through Canvas, but our number one communication tool is focus. But as you can see, he is in middle school. So even though he has some of the links to elementary, he's going to focus on the secondary programs. And so he has favored Canvas, Focus, Adobe Express, is not a favorite. And it's a very simple thing to do. If a student uses a resource a lot, all they have to do is hover over it and click on the heart to favor it. Now, most of these resources are available to Dash because he's in middle school, and it tells me that because these resources are available to him, it probably means that at some point his school may have a subscription or maybe using the free version of these programs, which is why he has access to it. And so as soon as he clicks on these, he'll be automatically logged in and he'll be able to access his resources. For example, Canvas, which is our LMS. Then we have Focus, which is where he can see all of his grades. And then another one of his favorites, which I'm going to go to now, is iExcel. And some of our schools, majority of our schools, are using iExcel for maybe mathematics, maybe English language arts, and some of them at the high school, for example, there are some students using it for science. And so because it's a frequently used app, then I would have it right here and associate it so that I can very quickly access this without having to look for it. But if I were to use the search button, and I type, let's say, I, there, I dash, I have iReady. Now, even though iReady is right here and is also one of my favorites, but if there are a lot of apps on a student's portal and it's hard to find them, then you could always use the search to find some of those apps. In addition, what does the teacher pages look like? Well, they are specialized. For example, if we go to Ms. Jimenez's teacher page, she has added other apps that are useful for her. Because Miss Jimenez is a math teacher, I can see that she made very easy the access of the Savas Easy Bridge, which is our mathematics content for students. And then she's also using the free version of Delta Math. She also uses iExcel, but she has incorporated Edpuzzle, Para Assessment, Khan Academy, CK12, and other apps that she is going to particularly use with her students. So if the students are in her class, she may say, okay, guys, let's go to my teacher page and we're going to work on vocabulary today. Or we're going to use Delta Math. And then the students can very easily and very quickly access those resources. And as you can see, one of the cool things that teachers can do is personalize their pages to really draw the attention of the kiddos. And remember that Dash is a fake student, so he is enrolled in a lot of classes because we test a lot of things with them. So your child may not see 12, 13 different teachers. They're probably going to see, just if they're in elementary school, they're going to see maybe one or two if their specials have anything to share with them. And if they're in secondary, they're going to see their 6 classes as well. So it's not going to be as crazy as Dash's courses. But if Dash really wanted to make, let's say, Miss Carson's page a favorite, then all he has to do is click right here on the heart, and he's going to make these favorites. I will tell you that one recommendation that we have is that your child actually makes favorites their top high traffic apps. Because if they favorite every single app, then it really becomes very, very cluttered. So we want to encourage you to talk to your child and say, okay, so what is the app that you use the most? And what are the ones that are your top 3 or your top 5? So students who are in elementary and middle school and high school, definitely we want the top apps that they want to favorite are going to be Canvas and Focus. And then there are great programs that are of high traffic, which include iReady, Renaissance, and their core curriculum, including Savas, and for secondary, a lot of McGraw-Hill because of science, social studies, and ELA. And the Ed Learning platform for students in middle school is your into lit, which is their ELA curriculum, and also for the students in elementary, they use it for the sciences. And now, of course, one of my favorites, which is Zello, our college and career platform, which is amazing just for K all the way through 12. And then if they have some other apps that are not of high frequency, that are supplemental content, that are not used every day, then they can just access them quickly through by going to the elementary programs, that is, if they're elementary students, or secondary programs if they are in grades 6 through 12. And of course, all of our students participate in our life skills and wellness, which go through the Rethink Ed portal, either depending on the campus through Clever, or it's done via Canvas. So again, lots of library resources for you to explore the audiobooks, to explore the Library of Congress, to explore the Gale Library, to explore Nova Southeastern University, of course, our Follett Destiny Library, that what's available at the schools. And very quick, high traffic, like Google, for example, if the students wants to access very quickly their Google Drive, they can make it a favorite. Something else that students are going to see is website links. And literally that's what they are. They're website links that we have added for students to have a very quick access to. Say, for example, I want to very quickly see the charter website, and everything becomes part of their favorites. So Clever, once again, is our single sign-on, very easy to access for students, and parents don't have an account. So if you need to know what your child is using in school after open house, and you've learned all about the programs exposed there presented during open house, then tell your child, let me see your Clever portal. And so you can see and access it through the Clever portal for them. Now, if you were to click portal, You see how is this is where you are. You are right here in the portal, so there's nothing much to explore. It's a very simple, very easy to use tool and saves us a lot of time and effort because the students, again, they're not wasting time going to multiple sources, but they're immediately going, boom, iReady, boom, Ed Learning, boom, Renaissance, McGraw-Hill, iExcel, and the system is going to just, because they are logged in through Clever, they're just going to immediately be logged in to that particular portal. I don't want to open too many things, but see, iExcel, these are all the things that Dash has to do. It's opening up this is my class for McGraw-Hill. This is my Renaissance. We're almost there. I'm going to take an AR quiz, which has to be taken at home. And then I'm connecting to my Ed Learning portal, which is going to take me to my Interlit. And I have my reading and math um, portal for my iReady. So just like that, very quickly accessing all of the portals that I really need to be successful. And if your child, number one thing you need to do is make sure your child has username and password because that is the key to opening a portal of learning. Okay, that's our clever portal. Do we have any questions?
Yes, thank you, parents, for putting in those questions. We have a few here. Those of you that have questions that have been watching and following along with Miss Raymond, now is the time to put those in the Q&A. We may not get to all of them because she's going to pick back up again, and then we'll try to get to those as we go along. Um, so there is a question here that says, is there a limit of the amount of time that K through 1 students are expected to be online?
That is a question for your teacher, for your curriculum, for your administration. The reality is that the assignments that are given to students are depending on their age, and so you want to reach out to your teacher because we are open the door to the portals, but we don't manage the time that your child should spend on it.
Perfect. And we should have started the session by saying this. If you have an individualized problem with your accounts or your students' accounts, not so much a question of how to use those accounts, we urge you to submit a help ticket through the pinecharter.net website, and we'll show you that at the end under Need Help, and then we will be able to expedite a resolution for that very specific problem for you or your student. So again, the questions really should be on program usage today and access of how to access and not so much of individualized errors because we would rather take extra time with you independently so that way there is any sensitive information that isn't shared. If there are no other questions, we'll give it another moment. We will move on. Oh, here we go. Um, okay, that is more of a me question. Okay,
I do
so
want to mention one thing in terms of access to Clever. One of the grade levels that takes the longest time to access online programs is our little ones. So if your child is in kindergarten and he or she still hasn't been given a badge or you haven't received a username and password, it's because our kinder teachers do a lot of work in the classroom and outside with paper and pencil before they can get to technology. But you may have already received that. But usually the ones that don't get on our technology right from the get-go is usually our KM1 students. Okay,
perfect. And this question
so
did come in, and it's a good one. If parents want to join Clever, it has to be through their child's Clever account only. Is this correct?
that is correct. There are parents do not have Clever accounts in our system. So at all, you do not have a Clever account because we cannot provide you with an observer account for Clever because you don't have an account for any of these curriculums. So you have to log in with your child and then launch the programs and then you can help them.
Perfect. And is there an icon that the families should be looking for, their students should be looking for this school library?
For the school library, yes, is the Follett. It's a little icon that has a tree on it. Let me show it to you. It's right here. It's under libraries, resources, and it looks like this is a little tree and it says Destiny Follett. And the students once again log in with their Pines Charter username and password. They're at pinescharter.net.
And is there any way that parents link themselves to their students for Clever?
No, there is no linking and Clever. Only Canvas and Focus allow for parent pairing and linking. Great questions. Parents can only access Clever by using their child's credentials.
Perfect. And not dues, excuse me, does the portal stay active during vacation times when students aren't in school?
Yes, the only time that the portal goes under maintenance is usually at the last week of July. As we are preparing for the yearly rollover, we send an email out to all stakeholders, all of our parents and students, letting them know that the Clever portal will be undergoing maintenance as we prepare all of the schedules and everything. And then it becomes available again, usually a week or a few days before the start of the school year.
Perfect. And last question, can a student's Clever account be open on multiple devices at the same time?
Is it can, but it's not recommended. And one thing that we do encourage you is that, and we tell this at the school level too, I mean, the students do it at school, is anytime there are shared devices at home, make sure your child logs out of their Clever account and also of their Canvas account, especially if there are shared devices at home with students, because the system could remember the last person who logged in, and all of a sudden, again, you think it was Dash Incredible, and all of a sudden Dash is working in Violet's account and he has no idea that he is. And then all of a sudden, some of the programs that we have are K-12. For example, our Savas program, which is for mathematics, students in kindergarten have access to it, and so do students all the way through 11th grade and 12th grade. As a result, we recommend that you do make sure that if you have shared devices at home, every single time a student uses it, that they log out of Clever and they log out of Canvas,
Perfect.
and even of their Google account. Yes. Thank you for those questions.
Yes, perfect. Okay, we are going to move on, parents. Thank you so much. And then we will revisit questions after this next section. I love this little guy with his little tummy that says poll
Whole
time.
time.
Poll time. So let me open up the poll for everybody. Give me 1 second.
Okay, guys, so
Here
this
we go.
is important because one of the great things about the Focus SIS and the Canvas LMS, our learning management system, is the opportunity for you as a parent to pair with your child. Now, if you heard the word link when you went to the Focus JPW, well, our language for Canvas is to pair. And you become an observer in your child's account, which is great because then, you know how you all want that Clever account? Well, you can't have one, but you can have a Canvas account. And by pairing yourself with your child, if you do it now, even if your child is in kindergarten, it's even better because once you pair, you're always paired for the life that your child is in our charter system. But keep in mind, if you have a child that attends a Broward County public school, you are not paired with that child. That is a different instance of Canvas. We have our separate Canvas and we have our separate Clever. And so that's why if you have children in different schools in our system, perfect. You can link multiple children and pair with multiple children with one parent account. But if you have students in our county public schools, then nope, you have to have a parent account for them and a parent account for us. So how are we looking, Erica, of
So we
our
are looking at 62% of our families, and we have close to 800 people here tonight. So 63% are saying yes, they have paired, and about 36. It's fluctuating, but we only have 139 votes, 143. So parents, please come on and vote. There is no shame and it is anonymous. So we encourage you. So this way we know how to best provide support during this session. So we encourage you to please vote, but we are having the majority of our families that have said yes, they have participated in pairing.
And that's great because once you do it, like I said, you are paired for the life that your child is in our charter system. And you just have to do it once and remember your username and password. That's all. But the beautiful thing is that whether you go into the system once a week or once in a while, you really, there is no did you do your homework? Or what do you have to do in your class? Or what are you learning this week? That question goes out the window thanks to Canvas because all you have to do, you don't need your child's username and password. Well, you're going to use it to start, but once you have your own account, you could just go like, I'm checking Canvas and you can check what's due, when it's due. Maybe one of your teachers doesn't have a lot of assignments in Canvas, but they have the weekly agenda and what they're doing. And so that really gives you a fly on the wall look at what's happening in the classroom. And if you feel that you're not getting that information, then, you can communicate with the teacher and say, are you putting that assignment in Canvas or are you putting the vocabulary words in Canvas or my child was absent. He was sick or she was out on a athletic competition. Where can I find the work for the week? And the teacher should be able to say, no worries, everything will be in Canvas.
Per
And that is the beauty of it.
Perfect. So 64% of our attendees that have voted said yes, they are paired. Thank you. And
Awesome.
36% said no. So those of you that participated in our poll, thank you so much for that. And we will move forward with the rest of our presentation.
Great. And that 30% of you, and if there's a few more who didn't vote today in the poll, it's okay. You're here and now you're going to learn how to create that parent account. So what is Canvas? Canvas is a learning management system and they are all over the world. It is a platform where teachers post content, assignments, quizzes, and information that is taking place in the classroom. Everything from, hey, we have a quiz next week to there's the quiz. Anything, we have field trips and forms and content and PDFs and images and videos. Anything that the teacher wants to share with the students is in Canvas. And you, as a parent, you become an observer. And that is the language in Canvas because you cannot participate. You cannot submit an assignment for your child. If there is a classroom discussion, you cannot, that is the one thing you will not be able to see discussion posts for the privacy of the students. But you can see a lot, but you just cannot interact. You cannot submit your child's homework. Sorry. You can monitor multiple children with just one Canvas account. And for those of you who are wondering, the little panda is become kind of like the Canvas little mascot. And so they love their panda and we love the little panda also. We love him, little guy. Now, how are you going to get started with Canvas? Now, we are we everything starts with your child. You would need to get your child's login, which is, by the way, the same one they use for Clever. And so you tell them, hey, can you log into Clever and launch Canvas? And then you're going to get a pairing code that is unique to you so that you can create that parent account. But the good news, and you can always request a pairing code by completing a help request ticket, and we're going to provide you that today at the end of the session. So if you don't want to bother with your child, you can put in a ticket and we'll give you that code. And if you're not sure, if you have an account, because sometimes maybe you created it years ago and you're like, I'm not sure, we're going to give you some, you can always submit a ticket and we can help you. Now, to create a parent account, you are going to use the pinecharter.net, that instructure.com/login/canvas. Now, this last portion is extremely important. And remember when I told you earlier about logging out and logging in? If you try to log in with pinecharter.instructure.com and you do not put the /login/canvas, you are going to get something called a 403 error. 403 error is an error that any system will give you when it's trying to log you in, but it can't find you. It says, I don't have a user with these credentials. And that is because you are not a student. And our students log in with just the first part of the URL, pinecharter.instructure.com. But parents need the /login/canvas. And the third thing that you're going to do is you need to set notifications and alerts so that you can monitor your child's courses. And that's going to be key today because sometimes too few notifications, you don't know enough, and sometimes too many notifications can drive you crazy. So, how do we do this? Well, remember I told you you needed to log into your child's account. And I'm going to show you here, and then I'm going to show you where you can find all of these directions in the blink of a couple of clicks. Okay. First, you log into your child's account. All of our accounts, whether you're a parent, a teacher, an administrator, or a student, are going to look the same. They're going to be easily identified by the charter school logo. There is an account icon, and then dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, history, studio, and help. Now, if your child is in elementary, then this is going to say home and this is going to say subject instead of dashboard and courses. But our students 6 through 12 say dashboard courses. Okay. Then you click on the account and then you're going to click on settings. I know my arrows are a little off today. Click log in and get to settings. Now, once you're in settings, you're going to see that down here, there's something that says pair with observer. And when you click here, it generates a unique alphanumeric code that will expire in 7 days or after one use. So if mom and dad or mom and uncle or grandma and father, whoever the adults who are guardians at the house who want to become an observer are, every single one of you, if you're creating an account, you need your own separate pairing code. So all you have to do is click OK and generate another one. So then one parent can create his or her account, and then another parent or guardian can create another one. One code per guardian or parent. And so once you have this, you are done with your child's account. That is the only thing you need to get from your kiddo. If you have multiple students, you need a pairing code for each student. So if I wanted to pair with Dash, Violet, and Jack Incredible, I'm going to need to get 3 different pairing codes. I need to log into each of their accounts. The great news is that you only have to do this once. Once you do this, you don't have to do it for the length of your child's attendance at charter. Okay, then what do we do? Settings. See, this is what you're going to see. If you don't see this burgundy box that says Canvas, then you are in the wrong Canvas. Don't type canvas.com because that's not going to work. Remember, pinecharter.instructure.com/login/canvas. Once there, you're going to see this icon over here, this little clicks. It says need a Canvas account. Click here, it's free. If you already have an account, then you just log in. Okay. If you forgot your login, guys, this is for those 60 something percent of you who have your account and you forgot. If you click the forgot password and you don't get anything, please submit a ticket. We can get you reset. Our team will reset your password and tell you how you can then change it to whatever you want it to be. But if you forgot your password and it doesn't work, you put in a ticket with the Office of Innovative Learning and we'll take care of you. But for those of you who haven't, this is where you start. You use this URL, you put need a Canvas account, click here, it's free. The next thing that opens is this. And you see this little tiny thing? I don't know why they do it like that, guys, but parents sign up here in underneath teacher and underneath student. Our students do not need to do this at all. So do not create accounts for kiddos. Their accounts are created automatically in our system when they're enrolled. The only ones who need to create accounts once is a parent. And so once you click here, parent sign up here, this window will open and you have to put your name. Please put your last name too. Even though it just says your name, there are parents who just put one first name, and then it's difficult for us to help you when you have tickets because we're always looking for last names too. So name and last name, then your email, and you put my email, blah, blah, blah.com, a password of your choice, something that you will remember. And then over here, you're going to pair that pairing code. You're going to paste it, the one that you got from your child. And it will tell you if someone already used it, it will tell you it has already been used or it's an invalid code. If you typed it, it is case sensitive. So if you put, capital letters wrong and lowercase, it is alphanumeric sensitive. So make sure you copy and paste it. That's usually the best way to do it. And then you have to agree to the terms of services. Once you do that and you start participating, it will immediately launch your Canvas parent account immediately. So this that we just did, it only has to be done once and it's going to take you very little time. So we go here and we start participating and boom, you are golden. You will see your portal, like I said, account, this is you, dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, history, studio, and help. Now, funny, I'm going to show you live in a second. You will land and you will see this. Tell us how and when you would like to be notified of events in Canvas. If you ignore this, you may not get notifications. And your teacher set up notifications whenever there's an assignment created. If you want to get a notification, you will get one. If their grades were entered in the Canvas gradebook, even though our final gradebook is always focused, sometimes teachers, they do grade in Canvas and then those things are sent over to focus, then you get a notification. And so you want to know if what is happening, then that's how you set up your notifications. And then over here, you notice that I have a drop down. That's where you're going to go to add that second child or that third child. You don't need to create another account. You will go here and it'll tell you, hey, you want to pair another kid, and then you will be given the opportunity to do that. But first, after you create the account, the most important thing is setting your notifications. And how do you do that? Well, you get your notifications. Okay, I'm Helen Incredible. And it will, if I click up, I can go to notifications. I'll go there in a second. But if I click observing, it's going to tell me who I am observing. And right now I'm observing only Dash. But if I click the pairing code and I put it here, then I click plus student, that's all I have to do. If you need to pair another child, repeat the process to get the pairing code and add it via the drop-down menu or of the settings. So we could do it through here, which is going to open up and allow you to add the pairing code, or through observing and adding the pairing code and click plus student. A lot of times people make the error of clicking plus student and thinking that it will prompt you to do something. No, you have to put the pairing code and then add the student. Now, once you do all of this, we are going to actually go live in a second. So here is pinestarter.instructure.com login canvas. How did I get here? Simple. I did this. I went to pinestarter.net. I clicked on the online tools and then I clicked on Canvas. Now notice, it says here, student accounts, student login, and parent observer accounts. And I'm going to zoom in so you can really see it. The students can learn a lot about Canvas on our website through the Canvas Student Orientation course. But you too, as a parent, this is the parent login. And you can explore a lot by exploring our Canvas Observer orientation course. So if you click here, you're going to be redirected to a course where you do not need to log in. I'm going to click on it quickly. And this one, you do not need to log in at all to have access to this course. And you can see our last year's survey. You can see all of the information about Welcome to Canvas and what you could do. So you have a lot more, and there's videos. really quickly, some of the things that we're covering here are going to be here. Now you can click here to learn how to create your parent account. You can click here to learn how to add additional students, and you can click here how to toggle between your students on your Canvas parent account. So if any of the things that we are doing are not clear, you could always go here, and you can submit a ticket here if you need any help, which is going to come to our office and we are going to help you. But this is when I clicked parent link, parent login. It took me here, and I'm going to log in as Helen Incredible, and I'm going to put my password because I already have an account as Helen Incredible. And when I log in, I'm immediately redirected to my Canvas dashboard. As you can see, I am on Dash's dashboard. I can see this is my account, Helen Incredible, and here's where I log out. So since I told you that your kiddos and you are going to have kind of the same look, the only difference is the URL for the kiddos is different than yours. Please log out if you're sharing devices and have your kids log out when they're sharing devices with their siblings because they may end up in each other's accounts without wanting to. Now, under my notifications, remember this is key. I am going to tell the system how I want to be notified. And if you have multiple children, you need to enable certain things so that you know where the notifications are coming. This happens a lot. If I am the parent of Dash, Jack, and Violet, and I'm getting notifications for all three, and I don't enable this, I'm going to go crazy because I need to know, show the name of observed students in notifications because I want to know if this is something that is for my elementary child, for my middle school child, or for my high school student. And notice this one. These are important. You can always close it whenever you're ready, but account level notifications apply to all courses, and notifications for individual courses can be changed within each course and will override anything you do at the account level. So if you're like your your child is really the one that you're like worried about the math class, and you just want to receive notifications for that class, you will go to the course. I'm going to show you how to set those notifications. But if you're like, no, I want to get all the notifications from everyone, then just set them here under your account, and that's good. Now, daily notifications will be delivered around 6 p.m. and weekly notifications will be delivered between Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. And notice that some notifications may contain confidential information, and selecting to receive notifications on an email other than an institution provided address may result in sensitive Canvas course. So this is, you don't have a Canvas issued email, but just know that usually our teachers are not going to send sensitive communication. So don't worry about that. So for me, I already know this. I can close them if I want to. So I'm going to close this one so I don't have clutter. Now, I am setting these for my account. But this is somewhere where I can set for a specific class that I want to. And these are classes that I have for all of my kiddos. I'm like, oh my God. Remember, I have multiple kids that I'm observing. And so I'm just going to set my account notifications, but I want to show the name of my observed student because otherwise I'm going to go crazy. And now I want to know when assignment due dates change. This one, guys, very important because if something is moved back, you're like, whoa, my kid has more time. And this is how you're going to know. This is a weekly summary. If you can get daily summaries, weekly summaries, notify me immediately or notifications off. Be careful with notifications off because it is your right and your prerogative, but that means you're getting zero information. Okay. Nothing is coming out to you. And the notifications come to the email that is associated with your account. And please, please make sure that you check spam because a lot of times things go to spam. And if you say like unsubscribe from notifications, you will not get anything else anymore. So notify me immediately. That means as the teacher clicks save and he selected or she selected to notify people of changes, boom, you're getting an email. Be careful with this one. because again, if you have multiple children, you might be bombarded if they have six teachers. Three students, all in secondary, times six teachers, that adds up. Right, Miss Roca? Now, if we have a daily summary, then you know you're going to get those at the end of the day, right? Around 6 p.m. That might be a good one. But it really does depend on what you want. There are some things that you don't need notifications for, and some things that you want to know right away. So if a new file was added to your course, that might be something that you're not interested in, but and new content. But you definitely want to be aware of due dates, and you want to know if there's grading involved. Okay, so things that are, I'm not going to go through every single one, but it definitely matters what you set up and what you don't set up. Okay. So that you know what you want. And I definitely do recommend, if there's something that you should have notify me immediately, is global announcements. And this one's, we do send global announcements through all of our communication features when there are important things that apply. For example, school closures, like when we have weather related emergencies or other type of emergencies, they are going to go out through Canvas and Focus, and they do go into their global announcements, and they are going to show up right on your dashboard like a really large notification, and they also go to your email. So when it comes to notifications, is the first thing that you definitely want to do. You can then, if you go to your settings and you want to change your password, you would do it here in your settings. Now, remember, I am very zoomed in, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Depending on where you are, zooming in and zooming out will let you see things. Please know this. I wanted to mention this specifically for Miss Incredible, because if you guys are not receiving notifications at all, please go to your settings. It's like I have my notifications enabled. If you see an exclamation point next to the email that is associated to your account, it's going to give you the message that Canvas is unable to send emails to this address. And that's why you're not receiving emails. And so in this case, you would need to submit a fresh service ticket so that we could investigate and clear your account of whatever block is happening. This is not necessarily something that is happening through your email provider, that like it happens with other services, like Miss Erica said, Miss Kotzer said regarding WebEx. But it does happen that there is something that we would have to fix. And we haven't fixed this one because we use it as an example of what you as a parent would see. You need to have like a check mark, like it should be a check mark rather than an exclamation point. If you wanted to receive notifications through another email, you could also add another email here. We cannot necessarily do it for you, but you can do it yourself. So how do you change your password? You go to edit settings, and here you click change password, and then you do have to know your old password. And so that's the trick here. If you do not remember your password and you're not even able to get into your account, and the forgot your password feature did not work for you, like it wouldn't work for Miss Helen Incredible, because she the system already said I cannot send emails to this. So then she would have to submit a fresh service ticket. And we can reset your password and help you out. So for those reasons, please pay attention when we give you your help ticket link. Okay. So now I'm going to cancel this. And I don't, if you wanted to see global announcements that have been, these are current ones. There's nothing active right now. And there's nothing in the last 4 months because we haven't had anything to post. So that is why. Now I'm going to go back to observing, and I'm going to show you that these are the students that I'm observing. If at any point you add a student who is mistakenly, it's not your student, you could just click remove. Or this is important for those of you who are parents of seniors. When your child graduates, we do not remove the child from your account. Even if their account becomes inactive in Canvas, you have to remove your child yourself. So you would come here, hey, Viola's graduating this year. No, she's not. We can click remove, and then you're no longer observing Violet. You only have the two kiddos that you're observing. So that is how you are going to be removing and adding students. But if I go back to my dashboard, I don't want to see Dash's stuff. I actually want to see Jack's. And now look at what happens to my portal. My portal changed because now I'm at an elementary portal. And as I told you, the dashboard becomes home and the courses become subjects. The calendar, the inbox, the history, the studio, and the help is the same. Now, the help feature is not designed for you to put in a ticket. I want to stress this a lot. You will see that you say, oh, report a problem. This one is for students, and you can submit a feature idea if you think there's something that should be important that it should be added to Canvas. You can go ahead and do it. But if you want to report about a problem, you can. But if it's something related to your account or to your child's account, we do ask that you submit the ticket directly to our system and through the need help ticket that I'm going to show you. So as you can see, the portal for our youngest ones, K through 5, looks a little different. If you log in and you see nothing, okay, there are a couple things that could be happening. Number one, your child's teachers have not published their Canvas courses. They're still maybe working on tweaking them and they're not ready to share them yet and publish them. Or two, you have not favorite any of them and that's why your portal is empty. If you look at Dash, I'm going to come back to Jack in a second. Dash has these two courses here and you're like, but wait, Dash is in 6 classes. He is like, and he's in 3 clubs. Aren't, didn't the teacher tell me that the clubs also have Canvas courses? Some of them do. Okay. And you only see two. Well, you go to courses and wait a second. You're like, wait, there's a lot more here. I only see two here, but I see a lot more here. Well, you go to all courses and here you can filter. This is the 2025-26 school year. And you see this little star here? This is a favorite star. I only have this one and this one favorite. Oh my gosh, what? No. He is taking all these classes. What are you talking about? So if you don't see the courses, you need to come to courses, all courses, and then favorite them. And if you're again not sure, here you can see all of the courses your child is enrolled in and see if they're published. And at that point, you do have to communicate with the teacher and say, maybe email and say, I noticed that my child is enrolled in your course, but your course is not published yet. And when can we expect it to be published? That way, you know where the teacher is in terms of allowing that. If your child is in secondary, important, and they're taking a wheel class, the course for second quarter will probably show up here, but it will not be published. If they are enrolled in a second semester class, like for example, like personal finance is paired with economics or like economics is paired with US government, like that, then those classes are not going to be published because second semester is not, hasn't started, it starts in January. So if you see a no, and you can look at, oh, the term, and if you make it smaller, you can see actually like which term this belongs to, and you can see like, oh, this is a second semester course, so I know I'm not going to see it published. But if you have doubts and you see, wow, I have a lot of courses that are not published, then I want to know, and then you just reach out to your teacher and they'll let you know. And so now that I made these favorite, if I go back, I'm going to see now that, oh my gosh, look, I see all the other courses now. And so that's what I'm looking for. I want to make sure that I have access either through my dashboard or through courses, all courses, to the courses that my kiddo is involved in. Now over here is the to-do. In the to-do, you're going to see everything that your child has to do. And notice that when I clicked on it, show more, it changed my view of my dashboard. And you're like, oh my God, what happened? And so I can see that tomorrow, all of these things are due, and that on September, all of these things. And this is a great view because you as a parent, you're like, oh my God, my kiddo has a lot of work to do. Awesome. He cannot tell me lies. She cannot tell me lies. I know exactly what he or she has to do. Now, if you click on the three dots, this is the blueberries, that's what I call them. Right now I'm on list view, but I'm going to go back to card view. And that's how I can see my course cards. This is what we call them. We call them course cards. And then the course cards, if I click into my world history course card, I can see everything that Miss Master Paulo is has available in terms of modules. I am an observer, okay? And I can see this is the week of September. This is everything that is happening. This is the essential question. And these are great conversation starters because you know how the kids are going to be and you tell them, "How was school today?" Number one answer, "Fine." "What did you do?" "Nothing." "Do you have any homework?" "No." "Did you do anything in class?" "No." But no more. If you're an observer in Canvas, now you can say, well, I know that this week you're learning about the impact of the life in Mesopotamia. Well, can you tell me about that? Bingo. And you're like, how do you know that? See, there you go. You are not in the dark anymore, mom and dad, grandpa, uncle. You're not in the dark. So if I want to go back to my dashboard, I can go. And then I can explore my seventh and eighth grade debate class. And you're going to notice that depending on the teacher, they're going to have a different look. Some people are, oh, this is our learning syllabus, this is our modules, this is our daily attendance, this is our my link to Clever Portal. And so this is an older class, by the way, because we don't have Jupiter grades anymore, but just you know. So um, we have this, and this is the great debate. The great balloon debate. Step one, read. Step two, select the character. Step three, research. And so these are my documents. There is, if your child is not in school, what an amazing, amazing way to know exactly what he or she has to do. You as a parent do not have a submit assignment button. Okay. The kiddos have a submit assignment button, but you do not. And there's the download. Anything in Canvas that has a little arrow means download. And then I click next, select my character, and you may select to become, and then I click next, and I can click exploring. And so everything that I want to learn, and then see, next up, submit assignment, and here it is. You as a parent will not have the ability to do this because you are an observer. Okay. And so for every one of the courses you can explore, and for every one of your kiddos, you can toggle in the same experience that you had with Jack. You see, if there were important dates, they would be here. If you wanted to see if the teacher had like, oh, look, the media grade, it's the fall book fair. Wow, I didn't know the book fair was happening. Okay, let me click here to learn more about this. Oh my God, he has 11 missing items because in elementary, it'll tell you all the items that are missing. Oh no, we need to do all of this. Come on, let's go. These are, by the way, are things that I have given assignments to Jack that he hasn't done. And so wherever there is something in the schedule, you can see it. If there are any grades, there will be grades for the here. But remember, final grades are always in focus. These grades that you want to see is for assignments that are graded. And you can see quarter one grades, you can see quarter two grades right here. But remember, only focus on assignment grades, not total average. Okay. Because the total average is always in focus. Okay. And then great resources. Okay. So your students do not have access to no, Gemini yet or Notebook LM. Their accounts are not configured for this. So even if they click, they're not going to have them. But the Galen Context for Elementary is a super great resource that you may want to play around with your kiddo because it has books and news and pictures, and you can research things and help them. Oh, we were looking at Mesopotamia, and we can look here. So it's a really great resource for your kiddos in under their resources. Okay, so that is what you can do. And if you ever lose your menu, you can always click here on the hamburger. I call it a hamburger. It's 3 lines, and that minimizes it or expands it. Expands, minimize, expand, and then you can see it. So if I go to the modules for this particular course, I can see all of the assignments that are available and everything about sea turtles. This is classwork, this is homework, and this is the assessment. And so this is what we're going to do before class. This is my Google assignment. This is vocabulary. And then I go back. Let me go see what happens in my dashboard. Your kiddo and you have pretty much the same view in terms of what they see if they are in elementary school or if they are in middle school. And then here you can then, I'm going to go to Violet and I can see the same thing. Violet does have an assignment for um, all of her classes. And once again, I'm like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's supposed to have 6 classes. And this is a 12th grade volunteer class. So this is not all her schedule. Let me go to courses, all courses. And let me, oh, yep. Oh my gosh. She's in, oh, I need to know about the school counseling information. Oh my gosh, she's the class of 2026. I need to know what's up with Miss Blanco's. This is important, guys. The class of 26. If your kid's enrolling the class of 25, class of 26, class of 27, class of 28, and class of 29. Sorry, not class of 25. Those kids graduated. 26, 27, 28, 29. So no matter what grade level your kiddo is, they are already enrolled in the class of their graduation year, and you can see who their sponsor is, and that way you'll see what kind of activities they have going on. Where like, oh wait, you need to like have this is the date of that we're going to do the fundraiser for this, or the day that we're doing the fundraiser for that. Information for the class kiddos. But once again, I will go to courses, all courses, and I will make whatever classes I have, I'll make them my favorite. Like I definitely need to make um, my creative photo class or my, this class or my mathematics for liberal arts. I need to make this class. And that way, in my Spanish 1 class or my world history class, definitely my favorites. And so then I can make those. Remember, these students are fake students, so they're enrolled in all kinds of classes. And now I have that and I can go and see, oh, what's happening in mathematics for college algebra? So Mr. Biggerman, I have his syllabus here so I can look at it. Oh, they have Delta Math assignments. Now let me show you about this. So you are a parent. This is going to be a problem. You do not have a Delta Math account. If you are a parent, you're not going to have an iExcel account. So remember, if these are programs that your child is using in class, it will not work for you. And that is as expected. So you want to be a spy and like look at what the assignments are in modules and assignments and in quizzes so you can see what is available and what your child has to do and what their due dates are. So this is all that is going on in Mr. Bigerman's class when it comes to quizzing and linear equations. Excuse me, and you can collapse them and you can see what he has available for your kiddo. And so some teachers have a lot, some teachers have a little, but the more that they put, the more information that you're going to get. And by all means, if you're a secondary high school student, these courses, if you're 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, make sure that you are monitoring the 12th, these AV volunteer media services classes from Miss Chaka, because these courses, this is where your child submits his or her volunteer hours every quarter. And so if your child is not doing this, then make sure you're following this online library access. First quarter student volunteer hours. Look at when the deadline is. Whether your child is a freshman or a senior, doesn't matter, 9, 10, 11, and 12, their deadline to submit their first quarter volunteer hours is on the 3rd of October. And these are all the instructions. So as a parent observer, whether you are elementary, middle, or high school, there are so many things for you. For kinder, it might just be the vocabulary list that your child has to learn or sight words that you have to practice with them. And I know that, for example, Miss Cabrera published her course today. She had been working on it and She published it today at FSU. So if you're in Miss Cabrera's class and your child is at FSU, that you know that you can go to her class, and in the modules, you're going to have the daily practice, you're going to have the sight words, you're going to have the foundations, and these are great resources for you as a parent to help your child at home. And that's the purpose of our Canvas LMS, to empower you for your child to be successful on their journey through charter. So I want to ask, I'm going to go to questions in a moment. And right before I cover that, I want to show you the calendar. The calendar is a great resource also if you want to see how loaded your child's schedule is. It just gives you a really big at a glance. So you notice that right now, there's nothing in Violet's calendar. Well, I am going to select this class, this class, this class, this class, this class, this class, this class. And I'm going to select all of these different classes, and they all have kind of like different colors. So if there are assignments in these classes with due dates in them, and I am selecting a lot of them, okay, I am going to be able to see all of the assignments and color coded based on the color that I chose on my calendar. Now, this is up to you. This calendar is yours to manipulate in terms of, oh, I don't like that color. I want this color for this calendar. And I don't want this brown. I want this color for this calendar. So notice that I selected this. And so I selected some. So there's kind of, look at this. They all loaded. So if you're like, oh my God, my child has so much homework. There's so much going on. And then you definitely want to make sure that you could take a look at a glance. So the color here, it's indicated by hovering. This is Miss Jackson's class. If I hover over this one, I know that this is, it doesn't tell me the class here, but I know that it's math. And if I hover over this one is also a Kahoot. And you can see by color what class it belongs based on the calendar that you did. And as you can see, I selected like this one, and so it's adding more. So there was a little bit of a delay, but you could keep adding, and there will be, and you can do, and it's thinking right here, it's loading. So it's loading everything. And now I can go and if there's anything that is undated, okay, it's going to load down here. So it's important that you are looking. So these things do not have a date, but they're still supposed to be done. Obviously, honestly, these students are fake, so they're not going to have a lot of undated things. But if you have any concerns about undated things, then you could always reach out to your child's teacher. But it's important to know that this is here because you're like, oh, well, when is this argumentative essay due? And this calendar gives you at a glance what your child has to do, and you can plan accordingly and help them be successful by knowing, okay, you have 3 assignments due on Sunday, you have 2 assignments due on Monday or 1, and you have 2 due on 16. So you can definitely do that. You can enable some calendars and disable others. Just make sure that your colors are not as close as mine are, because that might be a little bit difficult to manage. And if you have other colors that you like, you can put it like 0000. That's not probably a very good color to have. So you could just put whatever color you have. So like if I do like this one, number 7, and it's just going to apply it. You can, if you know colors, you can change them. So that's a great feature of the calendar. Like I said before, our main communication is focus, but if you check your inbox, there are teachers who are sending a lot of communication via Canvas. They also send it via focus, okay? So you can be checking both. And you definitely have the option to be looking at these. And the history is where you've been last, which is a great way also to be like, okay, I wanted to see that math class again. And it's just going to take you very quickly into the last places you've been most recently. Remember, this is your parent account, not your child's, but as an observer, you get a glimpse of everything your child or your children are doing. But keep in mind that you're like, wait a second, I was in world history. Jack is not taking world history. That's because I was observing Violet. Okay. So I do have to make sure that I toggle my child and then I go to my calendar and take a look at maybe Jack has a few less. Sometimes the calendar is going to load for every single one of your children. So it is something that does happen. So don't freak out if you see a very loaded calendar. It's just going to have like the calendar for all of your kiddos. Okay. So that's why if you want to just see the dashboard, that's a good place to be in terms of toggling between your child and what they are. And for every single one of them, in secondary, because in elementary, the view grades is usually at the top if the teacher has enabled it. But if you wanted to view the grades, remember you do not count. If it says no grade, it's not because there are no grades. It's because the total grade should be hidden because the final grade of the student is always in focus. Okay. And these students are really not going to get grades because they are fake students. Most of the time, they don't have grades. But these are different assignments. Okay. So different assignments will have different grades. And then oh, how do I go back? Where was I? How do I go back? Well, you're going to go back to your dashboard because you were in the grades. If you were looking at Jack, Jack does not have that view down here of grades because he has it up here. And if you don't see it, if you don't see schedule, if you don't see grades, if you don't see resources, well, you will see resources. But if you don't see schedule or grades, then that's because your teacher has not enabled those features because they're not using them. But maybe some of you will see modules rather than schedule, and you won't see grades because remember, our grades are usually always final and focus. I know we say that a lot, but it's super important. Okay, I've showed you possibly everything there is to know about the the Canvas portal. As you can see, it's super in depth. And you, as a parent observer, can definitely have so many resources at your fingertips, and you can be in the know about what your child or children are doing in their classrooms. And you can always communicate with your teachers if you're not sure about what is happening. So, Ms. Kotzer, can we open it to questions?
Yes, we can. I have been answering lots of them as we have been going through. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so there is one here. I have a QR code for logging. Oh, not that one. Excuse me. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, different question. Actually, I have answered all of the ones that have been coming through. So if you have any other questions, parents, we could put them in at this time. Yes, the slides will be shared on our website. Give us until next week because we give everybody an opportunity to first submit for their hours and then we post to the website. Um, how long does it take for Canvas assignments or homeworks to update? That's really up to the teacher's discretion and how well they are using the platform. So a lot of these are teacher directed kind of inquiries.
Yes, and to expand a little bit on this, keep in mind that our K1 and 2 teachers might use Canvas as an informational tool for you, the parent, and they may not have actual assignments for your kiddo to log into Canvas and submit via the platform. Now, we see that a lot. We see Canvas used as giving you some information in terms of this is our agenda for the week and this is what we're doing in the classroom and here's a PDF of sight words that you can use with your kid. But in the upper grades like 3 all the way to 12, there are classes that are 100% in Canvas, that everything is done in Canvas. And so you definitely want to find out, reach out to your child's teachers and ask them, how do you use Canvas and what should I be looking for? But once you have your account, you can explore and then you have even more information and you'll know what to ask.
Perfect. If somebody submits a help ticket, will they be able to help them with a pairing code and how do they get that?
Yes, thank you so much. In a moment, I am going to show you, well, I can do that now. I am going to show you. So if you go to the pinescharter.net, I'm going to go to the home page. This is our main website, and I'm pretty zoomed in because I was showing things. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is our pinescharter.net website. And as you can see, we are super excited that we are all of our system A-rated schools. You can see that if you wanted to view the JPWs that we've always had throughout the years, you can go to Family Workshops. You can go to the online tools to access your link to Canvas, your link to Clever, and your link to Focus. And I do want to stress this again in Canvas. Even though we are going to post our slides, everything that I'm showing you here is right here. Click here to learn how to create a parent account. And it's a video and it's me, yes, and the same thing for additional students and how to toggle between students in your Canvas student orientation course and your Canvas parent orientation course. But if you want it, like I said, if you wanted to submit a ticket for that pairing code, you're going to go to the popular links and here, need help, click here. And you're going to see this form. You're going to select that you are a parent. You put the name of the person, which is you, your campus association, your contact number, and can we text it? And then the next one is going to give you the opportunity to, so this is me, and this is me, and me, and me, and yes, oh, I have to put in a number. Let me put this in very quickly. I put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I have to put the dashes. One. Did I do it right? I'm missing something. There. Okay, and then please don't put 000. We want to get in touch with you. Oh, for the love of God. Yes. And next. Did I do it wrong?
Your
What am I
telephone
doing wrong?
number is wrong.
Oh, yes, my telephone number. Mm, there. Great. So now you put the student number, the student name, okay, dash incredible. And then you have to put their 06 digit number or their 734 number if they're FSU students. So please don't put like 10 zeros. Your child's ID number is their unique identifier and is extremely helpful for us and useful and essential for us to troubleshoot. So you would put 06 and the number. Unfortunately, I don't know Dash's number, but you can get that in Focus. And then here's where you go. Canvas. This is my request. And I need a parent pin. Okay. And then you just please, you can put something like, I need a parent pin. If you need it for multiple children, then on this place, here's where you put the first child, put it in here, like I told you, that's incredible. But on the second and third child, you can put all of their names here and their ID number. I need it for Jack too, and I need it for Violet, and you put, and then you submit. And then we field this ticket and we will provide it for you. Again, usually after our JPWs, we have a huge number of requests for this. So we want to make sure that we serve everybody. And so please, give us a little time. We will get you there. So do we have any more questions, Ms. Kotzer?
We don't. We can move forward so we can at least honor everybody's time.
Great. So the expected outcomes is to learn about Clever and Canvas, check. How to pair parent Canvas account, check. And how to navigate Canvas. Yay, we did it, guys. We did it. So all, all yours, Miss Kotzer.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Karina
Thank you
Raymond,
so
for
much,
this
guys.
very thorough and very, very interesting information for Clever in Canvas. We know that many of you are going to have lots of questions, and if you do, please just follow those steps like Ms. Raymond shared with you by going to the pinescharter.net website and clicking on Need Help, and we, our department, not they, our department will get to you as quickly as possible. Just please understanding that we have a number of families and we do service the entire system. So now here is the very important information that most families are most interested in. If you are on a device that has a video capability, feel free to scan the QR code that's in front of you. That will launch you directly into the attendance and feedback form for our session this evening. And eligible family members who complete this and attended the session tonight will receive 3 service hours for each of those participants. Eligible family members are documented in your first day packet. That is usually mom, dad, maternal or paternal grandparents, foster parents, guardians, and anybody else deemed by the school principal. If you are not one of those individuals and you need to speak to the um, administration at your school, they will be able to help you with that. So today is Thursday, September 25th. The link is there. It is not hyperlinked and I cannot provide it anywhere for you to get it, but it is on the QR code as well as forms .gl and then this long string of numbers. If you are in a call in for this evening and you do need to get this information, please complete a help ticket at pinescharter.net. It's easier than you all emailing me directly. I know all of these webinars pick up my account as the creating session because I'm the one creating them, but we would like to filter all of our help tickets, including information for service hours, into that needs help. It's a much more efficient way of getting to everybody. Let us know that you were on a call and didn't have video capabilities, and provide us the first and last name for yourself, your student, as well as the email that you registered with, and then what telephone number you called in with. So then this way we can identify and make sure that you were available and attended tonight's session, so that way we can be giving out the code and links to your email, and we want to make sure that's done equitably and not just randomly. So please do that through our help ticket at pinescharter.net, clicking on need help, and again just provide your first and last name, student's first and last name, telephone number, and your registering email. Otherwise, those of you that have capabilities, you can either write down this, it is case sensitive, so please be careful, as well as you can use the QR code. The deadline to complete the attendance and feedback form is tomorrow, the 26th. The first few workshops, we were super lenient and said, sure, we'll check your registration, make sure you registered, make sure you attended, and then we were submitting hours later. Moving forward, we can no longer do that, as it unfortunately causes a delay for those schools putting in those hours. So we strongly, strongly urge you to get this done as quickly as possible. Take a few minutes before you leave here this evening to get this taken care of, or send that help ticket to the web address that I shared or Ms. Raymond shared with you. And then first thing tomorrow morning, we will get all of those links out so people can complete this form as quickly as possible. Our department does not enter hours. That is done by your school-based volunteer coordinator. And if you are not aware of who that is, you can call your school and those individuals will walk you through any questions you have regarding your service hours. And that is not something that we do manage. So we will leave this up for a little bit simply because we know that it is important for you. We'll go back to that slide in a minute,
Yes.
but we do want to say thank you. If you need help, here is how to do that. Submit your help ticket at pinescharter.net. Under popular links, click need help. Always, we would love for you to follow us on Twitter. We don't have that many followers, but we would love for you to be there at PPCS Oil. And really, we are very,
My
very
goodness.
excited that
This,
I
I need to
know
do
it's
something
these
about, I need to do
computers.
something about this. I'm so
I
sorry.
know our computers have that very soft touch and that jumps to like daily news. So we apologize for that pop-up. We appreciate you being here. We know, again, like I said, that you have very busy lives and you've chosen to spend your time here with us this evening, and that is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. We look forward to seeing you at our next session. Those sessions will be sent out via email and posted to the website like Ms. Raymond shared. We urge you to please register and just make sure to follow the directions during those registrations, and we look forward to seeing you. Please, 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 in order to receive those hours, please complete that attendance and feedback form. We ask that you be as authentic with your responses as possible, because those responses are what help guide further sessions And we are always looking for continuous improvement, and we can only do that by listening to what you, our stakeholders, have to share with us, and that information is very valued. So again, on behalf of the Office of Innovative Learning, myself, Ms. Raymont, Ms. Roca, and the rest of our team, thank you so very much for being here, and we hope you have a great night, and thank you so much. Have a great evening.